What is going on, Headliner Nation? Hopefully everyone's doing well out there today, where we have only 8 teams left in the NFL playoffs, and today we're going to be breaking down the divisional round. Now, as you can tell, I'm here by myself. Kyle not feeling 100% healthy, but I didn't want to just have an empty box on the screen, so Taylor, let's throw a picture in there. Perfect. That's exactly what I had in mind. Now, a quick recap of last week. My cuteness in picking games kind of backfired a little bit, right? Obviously, I chose the Rams over Detroit. I wanted to try to stick it to Kyle. That didn't quite work out for me. I also got a little bit too cute picking Miami last week. Full disclosure, that's what I get for just trying to be different than Kyle. So he's got a 2-game lead on me heading into the divisional round. We'll get to our picks here in just a little bit, but our underdog picks also did pretty well in last week's video. We hit 5 out of 7 plays that we put up on the screen, but really it should have been 5 out of 6. One of them was George Pickens to go under receptions because we thought he was going to be playing in the biggest blizzard I've ever seen in my life. They got moved. That ended up not happening. That line changed a little bit, but it is what it is. But once again, we're going to be having underdog picks in this video for each matchup. If you haven't signed up for an underdog account, it is not too late to do so. We have been winning money all year long with our player pick'ems, and why not end on a high note here in the NFL playoffs? So if you don't have an account already, head over to UnderdogFantasy.com or download the app. Create a new account using the referral code Headliners when you do so. By doing that, we're going to make sure that Underdog matches your initial deposit up to $100. Now, no, like usual, you don't have to deposit $100, but if you so choose to, it's $100 free extra going into your account. But maybe you need some additional help finding some more picks. Maybe you want to look at other sports. That's where OddsJam comes in. Now, we've been partnered with OddsJam all season long. And really, I use it like this. I have all season long. I'm looking across all the sportsbook trying to find the biggest discrepancies from Underdog, because that's where we're going to be placing our player pick'ems. If all the other books have a higher line than Underdog, I'm going to bet the higher on that player. I'm hoping that going into that slip that Underdog is wrong on their projection, and all the other sites that are somewhat similar are going to be more closely to being correct. And then vice versa for hitting the lower, right? If every other site is going under what Underdog is saying, I'm going the under as well. Now, no, it's not some foolproof plan where you're going to win 100% of the time, but we found it to be pretty successful this season. If you want to get in on an OddsJam, it's not too late for that either. You sign up for a new account using the referral code LINERS when you do so. Plus, you get a free 7-day sign up when you first start. If nothing else, go check it out for free for 7 days. Then they also have a 30-day money-back guarantee, so if you go on their site, you utilize it for 30 days and you're still not satisfied, you can get your money back. I'll have links to both Underdog and OddsJam down below in the comment section, so be sure to check those out. But all right, let's talk some football now, because the first game we got up is the Houston Texans and Baltimore Ravens. They're going to be playing Saturday, January 20th at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, it's going to be chilly, but chilly is good. Chilly is football weather, am I right? This isn't some blizzard. It's 25 degrees and partly cloudy with winds up to 19 miles an hour. As of right now, the Ravens are currently minus 9.5 with a total over-under of 43.5. And I know the last thing that CJ Stroud wants to do is end his first year playing the same team that he started his career against, the Baltimore Ravens. They played way back in week 1. CJ had arguably probably one of his worst games of the season. Only really had 3 bad games all year long. One of them came against Baltimore, but it was his very first ever NFL start. He looked poised last week in his first playoff game, put a hurting on the Cleveland Browns. We can't overlook CJ Stroud in this matchup, but also on the other side of the football, Lamar Jackson playing great football. An MVP candidate, Mark Andrews, is back as a full participant in practice. This could be one of those situations where we actually have a back and forth game despite 2 teams that play pretty good defense. Now, honestly, let's look at some of these underdog picks that I like here for this week. There's 2 of them that I'm going to have in each matchup. For this game, I'm going Odell Beckham over 30.5 receiving yards. Really, with the way that he's utilized in this offense, it's like 2 receptions for him. Do I think that they kind of rested him down the stretch to be sure that he's 100% for the playoffs? I do, so I'm going the higher there. Also going higher on Justin Tucker of 1.5 field goals made. Now, I don't need to sit here and sell you on Justin Tucker. I already know that. But with the way that this Houston defense has been playing here as of late, I do expect them to hold Baltimore to a few field goal opportunities. Why not utilize the best field goal kicker, arguably one of them, in the NFL in Justin Tucker? So I'm taking the higher of 1.5 field goals made. Which really then only leaves us our picks for the game, right? Kyle has a 2-game lead. He's picked the Baltimore Ravens to win this matchup. Way to play it safe, Kyle. But I can't really say a whole lot because I'm picking the Baltimore Ravens as well. I love CJ Stroud. I love what I'm seeing from this overall Houston Texans team and franchise. They're going to be a very, very good team here for the coming years. Right now, though, I still got to lean Baltimore and Lamar Jackson, so we're both picking Baltimore in this matchup. The next matchup up, we got Green Bay at San Francisco, also being played on Saturday at 8:15 p.m. 58 degrees and a 58% chance of rain for the entire game there in San Francisco. Now, as of right now, the San Francisco 49ers are -9.5 with a total over-under of 50.5, the highest point total of the weekend out of these 4 games, which is crazy because it's the only game this weekend that has some weather concerns. And really what I'm looking forward to the most in this game is the matchup of Brock Purdy and Jordan Love. The way that Jordan Love has played here the second half of the season is ridiculous. I don't think people understand how good of football he has played here over the last couple months of the season. Plus Brock Purdy, yeah, so he had a bad game there to end the season. I'm not overly concerned about stuff like that. The guy has performed at a super high level. He's playing at home, and he has all of his weapons healthy at his disposal. That's probably why the over-under is as high as it is. In this matchup right here, I do have a couple underdog picks as well. I'm going with Brock Purdy, lower than 30.5 pass attempts, and that may sound a little bit crazy, right, Jay? Why go the lower? They're going to throw the ball, right? Well, with the weather concerns of some rain, which I'm not putting too much into, they can still throw the ball here in San Francisco despite the rainy conditions. But it is way easier to run on Green Bay than it is to throw on Green Bay, and I expect the San Francisco 49ers to find some success on the ground and really rely on that ground game, not making Brock Purdy having to throw the ball 35 times a game. So I'm taking the lower at 30.5. Now, on the Green Bay side, I'm going lower than 5 targets for Dontavian Wicks. Now, if you've watched this channel the second half of the year, you know I love myself some Dontavian Wicks in this offense. But being that this is a playoff game on the road in San Francisco, and Fantasy Bigfoot Christian Watson is actually back in some form of practice, there's a chance that we see a little bit less Dontavian Wicks here in this divisional round. Plus, 6 targets is not a number he's hit very much this season. I'm taking the lower of 5 targets for Dontavian Wicks, which then only leaves us our picks. And honestly, Kyle played it safe once again and went with the San Francisco 49ers. I also am going to go with the San Francisco 49ers. However, I will say, I got the Niners on upset alert. It would not surprise me if Green Bay comes out and shocks a lot of people and makes this game competitive, right? Green Bay has nothing to lose in this matchup. They're out there. No one expected them to be there. They're there. And when a team has nothing to play for, they can be a little bit more dangerous. So I'm still going San Francisco, but that's definitely a game I'm paying close attention to. All right, next one up, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Detroit Lions. This game's being played on Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern time. It's indoors, so we don't have to worry about any weather. Luckily, Todd Bowles set that reporter straight, thinking that they had to worry about some weather in Detroit. No. Right now, the Lions are -6.5 with a total over-under set at 48.5. Now, a lot of people maybe expected this to be Philadelphia, right? But Tampa Bay played great football against a team who's been underperforming for weeks in Philadelphia. And really, this is a matchup where I believe we could see a lot of offense. It's very difficult to run on either one of these teams. However, you can almost have your way with passing against them. Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff could have some big days, could lead to some big numbers, and it would not surprise me if we see a higher point total than that 48.5. We got Baker Mayfield out there slinging the ball down the field to Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. We already know that Amon-Ra St. Brown is out there eating for Detroit. Sam Laporta last week only played 40% of the snaps. That could be a slight increase this week as well. And then when you got role players, like Josh Reynolds, even Jamison Williams starting to come on a little bit more in that offense, Jared Goff's ceiling's still pretty freaking high, especially with that run game that they have. All right, how about some underdog picks in this game? I'm going Baker Mayfield higher than 254.5 passing yards. I mentioned a little bit earlier, it's super hard to run on Detroit. They're going to throw the ball, and they've found a lot of success throwing the ball here as of late. Even in a game in which I expect Detroit to be leading, I expect Baker having to play from behind and throwing the ball all 4 quarters like we've basically seen them doing majority of the season. Because of that, I'm going Baker Mayfield higher than 254.5 passing yards. Now, on the other side of the football, we got Josh Reynolds, and he may not be some flashy name. He's kind of like the safety blanket of Jared Goff. He's the guy that Jared Goff looks to help move the chains and keep drives going. He's not going to lead the team in targets or receptions or receiving yards or whatever it may be, but he's definitely somebody who's utilized every single week in this offense. I'm taking the higher of 38.5 rushing and receiving yards. Now, honestly, I don't think the guy's had a rush attempt all year long, but his line for rushing and receiving was the exact same as just receiving. So every time I see that, I will always take the rush plus receiving yards just in case this happens to be the chance that Josh Reynolds gets a carry because the line's identically matched. Now, when it comes to the picks for this game, Kyle, of course, went Detroit, right? He is a huge Detroit Lions fan, but honestly, I kind of feel like this is Detroit's win as well, so I'm going with Detroit. And I know what you're thinking, Jake, you can't catch up if you're always picking the same teams. I get it, but I can't force myself to fall behind any more than I already have. So we'll save it for the last matchup because I feel like that's my best opportunity to try to make up a game. But anyway, we're both going with Detroit here. I just feel like everything has aligned for Detroit to go out there and have another opportunity at a big-time win here in the playoffs this week and go on to the championship round, which will then only leave us the last matchup of the week, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills, a matchup that people love watching each and every year, it feels like. They're playing at 6:30 p.m. on Sunday night. It's going to be 23 degrees and partly cloudy, so we don't have to worry about a snowstorm in Buffalo. As of right now, the Bills are minus 2.5 with a total over-under of 45.5. And really, both of these teams have somewhat of a similar story here this year, right? They're teams that we have high expectations for that have really sputtered at times on offense throughout the season. Now, both of them looked good last week, and you have to think, when you have quarterbacks like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, when the playoffs come around, the play is elevated across the entire team. And it's for that reason that you really can't look at this matchup at any point and really look at a team as being the overall favorite. It's never a wise decision to bet against Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. But I do have a couple underdog picks for this game here as well. On the Kansas City side of things, I'm going with CEH, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, higher than 8.5 rushing yards. It's like 2 carries. Can the guy get 2 carries? Yeah, I think he's probably going to hover right around 5 to 8 this week, which gives him the opportunity of definitely hitting 8.5 rushing yards. On the other side, I'm going Josh Allen. And full disclosure here, every single time I see Josh Allen with a higher or lower opportunity at a half an interception. So is he going to throw an interception or not? I will always bet the higher. And I say that because out of the 18 games he's played this season, he's thrown an interception in 14 of them. It happens pretty often with Josh Allen. Sometimes when you're making these slips, you just have to look at trends and try to find the guys that give you the best opportunity, the best percentage to hit. Which then only leaves us our picks for this matchup. Kyle's going with Buffalo at home, so this is where I'm going to try to make up a little bit of ground. I'm going with Kansas City here, and I'm going with Patrick Mahomes. When you look at the other matchups here on the slate this week, I feel this is the matchup that is closest to a 50-50 split on who can win. But not only that, Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs tends to do pretty freaking well. But all right, that's going to go ahead and wrap up the divisional round slate, but I want this to be an interactive show. So leave me a comment down below in the comment section. Who do you feel walks away in each one of these games as the victor and heads on into the championship round of the NFL playoffs? Now, I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to this weekend of football. Could be some very interesting games and a lot of unexpected outcomes, I have a feeling, for a lot of people. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here for the day. Hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and then most importantly, do your part to make the world a better place.